Welcome to the Wealthy Speaker Podcast, a show chocked full of strategies for scaling your speaking business. Now here's your host, coach to the industry superstars, Jane Atkinson.
Well, welcome everyone to the Wealthy Speaker Podcast. I'm your host, Jane Atkinson, and today feels like a really wonderful full circle moment as we welcome my client from many moons ago, Penny Tremblay, to the podcast. Welcome, Penny.
Hi, welcome, Jane. Thank you for having me. It is a full circle moment for sure. I was thinking about our history today, and I think we go back to maybe 2010.
2010. Wow. Well, I want you to tell everybody that we have a lot of history. I want you to tell everybody about your business today, and then we're going to go back in time. Okay, so you're into it, what, 15 years then or more? Probably more like.
I've been into it with you for that. I actually incorporated in early 2000, and I was in business as a sole proprietor before that. So I've been an entrepreneur all my life, and yesterday I celebrated my 58th birthday. So I've been an entrepreneur for a very long time, and my business has morphed into what it is today. So today I'm the very proud founder of the sandbox system. And I've developed a playful approach to conflict resolution.
So important in corporate, right?
Right. So play nice in the sandbox is something that everybody can relate to. The sandbox system is a 4-step process that helps people in workplaces come together and first of all, resolve conflict if there is any. And if there isn't any conflict, we can move right into training. I've been a trainer for 3 decades, so that's really where I got my start. And then the other processes move on from there to help managers manage more effectively and to hold people accountable to the new behaviors and commitments that they're making with me throughout the process. So that's what it morphed to today. My professional speaking slice of that is probably only about 10 to 15% of my revenue.
When you say that, are you talking about your keynotes versus your training? So your training is a larger portion, and that's always been the case, even since I knew you. Keynoting 50 or 100% of the time was never the goal. And because you love to get in there and roll up your sleeves and get with them. And conflict resolution is so necessary. Oh my goodness. It feels like it's just all around us right now. Conflict everywhere. Okay. So we know what problems that you're solving for your client. Let's talk about your path. When I first met you 15 plus years ago, it seemed to me, I seem to recall, I don't have a great memory, but I seem to recall that there was a lot going on. There were a lot of obstacles in your way to kind of moving to this next level of your business. And actually, Sandbox, I think, began during that time. Talk a little bit about what was going on in the background of you trying to level up.
Okay. So professionally, being from a very small community in Northern Ontario, that's North Bay, Ontario, and born and raised in Sudbury. So, I started my business in Sudbury and moved to North Bay shortly after. I was a jack of all trades. So I was in training and professional development, lots of different topics. I worked for a training company that provided the curriculum. So all I had to do was really show up and perform. And then when I became a mom, when my babies came along, I decided to go independent and start on my own. And somewhere along the lines there, I was, as a jack of all trades, was really stuck in that amateur world. Somebody would say, would you be able to speak on? And I'd say yes before they even had the topic out of their mouth, right? So I did, I did a lot of time. I spent a lot of time preparing content to deliver it once. And I
Yes.
was really, as you say, jack of all trades, master of none. So over time, working with you, I learned to pick a lane, and the lane I picked was workplace relationships. And so I started training only on topics that really helped build workplace relationships. Meanwhile, in my personal life, there was a huge incongruence with what I was teaching and what I was living, because I was living in a very unhappy relationship. I'll say marriage, although it wasn't really official, but I was with the gentleman for 16 years. We had two beautiful children together, and it was a really challenging for me personally. Like, I had conflict teaching
Yes.
something and living something else. And so over time, over a decade ago, I threw in the towel on that. And being from a small town, the rumors started spreading. I mean, me, the relationship guru, um,
Mhm.
broke up her family.
Yeah.
And that was really hard
Yeah.
because, as I said, being from a small town, there's a lot of rumors. And basically, I wanted out and I ate the whole mess. Like, I didn't blame anybody for anything. Um, I just, um, I just ate it all.
Yeah.
And so those were hard times and tough times. One of the most challenging conflicts that I have been through personally was losing my 15-year-old boy's relationship. Like, he just broke relationship with me for 3 years. And
Mm.
and in those 3 years, I didn't know if he was ever coming back.
Yeah. That's so hard. So here you are trying to level up your speaking business, get more um, efficient, I guess, in how you're doing things. And there's a lot going on. And I remember, it was a financial drain on you. It was an
Yes.
emotional drain on you. And how many people who are listening in today have gone
Mhm.
through any kind of divorce type situation and
Right.
being, perhaps, tell me if this is wrong, being a people pleaser, you didn't want to throw anybody under the bus. You wanted everybody just to be happy, and there was no way for you to come out of that unscathed. And I really think that a lot of people can relate. So tell me, how did you get out of bed every day and go stand in front of audiences and train them under those circumstances?
Yeah, well, I'm not really sure how I did it, thinking back,
You're like,
but
I don't know.
um, yeah, I had at that point really great solid network of clients,
Hmm.
and um and not just in my hometown. So you know, as you've often alluded to, as a speaker, you're never a prophet in your own hometown.
Yeah.
So I didn't really, speak publicly about my circumstances in my hometown, but
Yes.
I just carried on one foot in front of the other. I mean, I really didn't have a choice. I had, as you said, a financial drain. I needed to keep my wheels turning, and I've been an entrepreneur all my life. So, strong network of friends, many of whom I still have today. I
Yeah.
actually have a psychotherapist girlfriend, so that's really handy.
That's helpful.
Um, yeah, today she's a YouTube sensation. She talks
Oh,
about narcissistic relationships, but
let's give her a shout out. Let's give her a shout out so
oh yeah,
people.
okay. Well, her name is Lise LeBlanc, and liseleblanc.ca. And she helps men who are challenged with relationships with narcissistic women. And
Oh,
yeah, she went through a period of time as well, going through a divorce and like me, like, working our entrepreneurial muscles. And we call it like throwing spaghetti against the wall, because if you try enough things, something sticks. And she
Yes.
landed on the narcissistic topic and it just blew up. And she's like, oh, okay. She had already written like 10 books on other
Yeah.
psychotherapy type topics, but this one really just hit. Anyway, she's been a great guiding light for me. But I also joined a women's organization called Paro Center for Women's Enterprise. It's out of Thunder Bay, Ontario. And Paro is not an acronym. It's a Latin word. It means I am ready. And at that point, I had heard that they were coming in to do the International Women's Day in my community. And I'm like, hey, this is my competition. I want to get to know who they are. And I joined their organization and I ended up working part-time for them, helping other women develop their businesses. And that was kind of like my part-time side hustle that at least gave me
Walk you through.
enough, yeah,
Yeah.
to pay my rent and or at least pay half of it, or just to give me a little bit of something. But
Yeah.
also I was amongst a group of women across, then parts of Ontario, now Canada. And I'm still affiliated with them, because one of the things that I've learned over time is that one of the ways to really grow your business is to get involved with a nonprofit that's way bigger than you and
Mm.
wind beneath their wings, because things do come full circle and then they become the wind beneath yours too, right? So that was really helpful.
I
Um,
love that. I really love that. Now, I want to just rise us up here for a second, because you came to one of my events. Was it Florida or Arizona?
yeah, it
Where
was Florida, Fort
you
Myers.
came to an event in
Sorry, Cape Coral.
Cape
Cape
Coral,
Coral. Yeah,
Florida,
yeah,
with me and another gentleman named Trent Thoreau also came to that event, and you guys met and fell in love. And I've been following your story ever since. And you got married, and I'm like,
yeah,
oh my God, this is so
yeah,
amazing. And so
yeah.
today you're spending time in Rhode Island, you're spending time in up north in Canada,
Yes.
and I'm loving to see this beautiful
Energy.
evolution of Penny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yesterday was National Never Give Up Day, and it's also my birthday. It's interesting, but
Happy
the the way that I went from this personal adversity to
birthday.
rising along with the help of friends and just keeping one foot in front of the other and working with the nonprofit a little bit and whatnot was I really had to reach deep inside and pull out everything that I ever knew and expand my own conflict resolution muscles to regain the relationship with my son. And so I just want to finish that piece off, because 3 years later, he came back willingly into my life, and we're, we have a new relationship now, and it's a very beautiful relationship. But um, you know, relationships are everything to me.
Yes.
They are
I can
very, very
hear it.
fascinating, and
Yeah.
they are the glue that hold people together, not just personally, in business as well, right?
Yeah.
So,
I didn't
um,
expect this to get so emotional, Penny.
that's okay. That's okay.
I'm so
Um,
happy that he came back into your world, and I know that your kids just mean everything to you, and that was such a difficult time.
yeah,
So the whole "this too shall pass" idea is something
yeah,
that people
yeah.
can keep in mind. Now, I want people to recognize
Mhm.
that year after year, for over a decade,
Mhm.
really, it's been multiple decades,
Mhm.
you have just put in the work.
Yeah.
You have built relationships with your
Mhm.
clients and they've become very loyal to you, but you've also put different systems and different things into place. Talk a little bit about, we talk about number one, being all in your mindset, and number two, consistent action. You have
Right.
taken that consistent action. Tell us what some of those actions have been to allow you to move past your difficult financial times and into this new place that you were in, by the way, long before you and Trent met.
Oh yeah. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think just going back to what you said about, having met Trent at one of your events, that was really exciting because we really retell that story all the time because people say, how does a girl from Northern Ontario meet a guy from Providence, Rhode Island? And we say, well, we both have this professional speaking coach named Jane Atkinson, and she had an event and she had an
Yay.
icebreaker and said, go meet someone you don't know yet. And that's how we met. As soon as he
Oh,
started talking about his story to me, because the icebreaker was go meet somebody you don't know yet and get to know them because you need to introduce them to the group. So
yeah.
as Trent was talking to me, I looked at his ring finger because he resembled the man I had been journaling about for about 10 years.
Ooh, love that.
Yeah. And so I left that event thinking, this is so great because either I just met the man of my dreams that I'm going to marry one day, or I met a man who's proof that the guy I'm looking for exists. So
Oh,
the power of manifestation is really one of the most powerful systems that I use. I
okay.
I journal at the beginning of every year now what I want in the year, and I usually condense it down to about 6 paragraphs that cover all 6 aspects of my life, my
Okay.
spiritual wellness, my health, my relationships, my business, my finances, and my fun. But in the like 10 years ago, I was journaling pages and pages, and I was working through my stuff, and I was really developing the woman that I was, and the one that I no longer wanted to be, and the one that I wanted to move into. So, manifestation and the law of attraction are big for me. And they're also big in my training and in my conflict resolution work because
Oh,
I help people really get thinking outside of where they are today and moving into like higher thoughts and higher thinking and believing that we can create the life of our dreams. And we get to, and I personally do it with pen and paper.
mm,
For the business side of things, you were really instrumental. I can think of so many one-liners and quotes that have stuck with me over the years, but um, one of the things that really catapulted my success is working with a CRM,
mm,
developing. I used to use Infusionsoft years ago,
yeah.
but then one day at a CAPS event, I met the fine folks at Speakerflow, and I transitioned over. And I just stay focused on that opportunities module, and I just keep moving opportunities through the stages, so that I can get to um, a closed deal or a no deal, whatever it's going to be. I'm going to move through the stages, and so that's been really efficient. It is now my central system. Um, but
Let's dive into that just for a second, because I always say that a CRM is only as good as its user.
yeah,
You go in there every day, am I right? You're
yeah,
looking at your opportunities every day. You're nurturing relationships. That's what that whole thing is designed for. And a lot of people, I think, maybe invest a lot, but then don't get in there and use it. So let's just expand on that a little bit. Tell me about your relationship with your CRM.
Okay. So in the past, before I met Speakerflow, I felt like I had a Lamborghini, but I only ever drove it to the corner store, because I wasn't using it.
Fusion
I
software.
didn't
Yeah.
know it. And so over the years, and still to this day, I'm not using it to its fullest capacity, but
Yeah.
I feel like slapping my own wrist every time I open my email to check my email, because I can do that inside my Zoho CRM. And I
Oh,
can
yeah.
only see email that's come in from my leads, my contacts, and There's a whole column for email that comes in from other places, but even just to put your blinders on and focus on, who do you need to reach out to today? Who do you need to respond to today? Rather than like, how much junk do I need to clear out of my inbox for 20 minutes
Yes.
every morning? Like, I don't have time to do that anymore. And I also have a full-time executive assistant now who helps me a lot. But back to the CRM, it is how I send my my email campaigns out. And I had been doing that for years. I've actually been writing for over 20 years. I have 450 leadership tips in my archives. Back when I wasn't even using, I don't know, I was using MailChimp or something like that. But
Yeah.
um, I use my CRM or I use my Zoho platform to do my
Yeah.
campaigns and to do workflows and to do my CRM work and to also collaborate with my team. So it's like everybody has access to files and everybody has we have our own little communication module in there called Click, like Slack. So everything all in one place instead of everything all over the place.
I love this. So 450 tips. How many people on your email list today?
It's only 3,500.
Well, actually, you say that only, but is it 3,500 good,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
people who are actually engaged with you? Because I would much rather 3,500 engaged than
Mhm.
10,000
Yes.
ho
I
hum.
had I had over 10,000. I scrubbed it one day. And so, I've got less now, but less is more when it's a higher quality, right?
You.
Um,
You and I
and
were in Infusionsoft together at the same
yeah,
time, and I think I had 10,000 then, and we've been scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing, and
yeah,
five and maybe is a good number for me. Maybe I'll go to 3,500
mhm,
someday too, because I would much rather have an engaged
right.
list
A
than a big list.
qualified list. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. And
Penny,
so
I'm so impressed with all these things you've done. It's so great for me to hear this. Like, really, when we started working together, I'm thinking you could have been working off a spreadsheet because things were
yeah.
in the early stages. And I just really love how far you have come in
Mhm.
your success. I love having followed this. I love the romance part of it. That
Yeah.
makes me super, super happy. Um, okay, so manifestation.
Mhm.
At what point did you write down what your life looks like today? Because I kind of feel like I've done the same thing and it's really exciting to,
10 years ago.
my vision actually was with my very first coach. His name, shout out to Rich Betke in California. I don't know if he's coaching anymore, but we created the vision and it included, this is so cool. It included uh, the cottage that we have on the lake and teaching our grandchildren to water ski on that.
Oh,
And that just happened. We just
oh,
spent
wow.
10 days with them at the lake a couple of weeks ago, and it just happened that our first, actually, we taught our oldest grandchild a long time ago, but this second set of smaller children just learned somebody to water ski.
So
And it was like,
exciting.
this is what we have dreamed of for
Yeah.
so long.
Yeah.
So your dream
Yeah.
was in the,
It's the why. Well, interesting because 10 years ago, or like maybe 10 years before I met Trent 6 years ago, so a while back, maybe
yeah.
15 years ago, I was journaling. I want um, lakefront in the summer and ocean front in the winter.
Hmm.
Now, I have both because I live on a gorgeous lake in North Bay. And Trent and I have a beautiful oceanfront property here in Providence. The only difference is that I'm in Rhode Island for the summer, and I happen to
You're
be in North Bay
backwards.
for the winter, just the way things work out. But the thing is that yes, manifesting and writing these things down, and then acting as if they're already happening and getting yourself out of the way and all of your doubts out of the way. That's
Yeah.
the real work. It doesn't come easy for me.
Yeah.
it's something that I've learned to do. And and I do, daily spiritual habits that help me stay high. I say stay, with high thoughts, high thinking.
The
Um,
vibrations.
yes.
And is meditation a part of that? I've never been very good at meditation. Are you good at it?
Yeah, meditation is a part of that, but I think one of the most consistent daily activities that I do every day is
Mhm.
I walk outside in the morning, no matter rain or shine or blizzard or 40 below or
Yeah.
you know, um, because I have this little furry friend here. There she is over there, curled up behind
Yeah.
me. And before her, I had, a different yellow lab, and I go out walking, and it's in that natural
Yeah.
air and forested area that I set my intentions for the day, a lot of gratitude, and and then I do also I do meditations at home at times and fitness and things like that, but um I think that, foundationally over the years, I've realized that I come first, and
Yes.
then there's my family, and
Yes.
then there's my work. And
Yes.
and actually at the top of the I come first is my spirituality. So once I laid down those priorities, um,
Everything
I
changed.
I really was able to make some better decisions. I was just
Yeah.
talking about this last night at a SHRM, Society of Human Resource Managers networking event, to a
Yes.
young mom. And I said, it's funny how everything happens at the same time. Like I remember getting a juicy $5,000 keynote gig on my daughter's grade 8 graduation day.
Oh.
And I
And
had to choose
you
what I
had,
was going to do. And I
wow.
said to this gentleman who was mentoring me, I said, like, well, I don't know what to pick. I mean, this is such a great opportunity. And he said, listen, Penny, there will be a lot more 5,000 buckses, but there's
Yeah.
only going to be one grade 8 graduation.
Yes. Agreed.
And
Agreed.
but when we're going through it, especially as moms or parents,
Yes.
um, it's a toss up all the time between, oh, that next best connection or that next best opportunity, and being a parent. Well, now I'm an empty nester, and I'll tell you, I'd give almost anything to go back and teach that little one to water ski again, or
Yeah.
to, make some lunches or do some laundry or rub some feet or something. So,
Yeah.
it's
I
been a
love,
real juggling act.
yeah. Well, let's give a like a real concrete tip for people. I love when you go through your calendar at the beginning of the year and you just block off let's say you still have young children, you just
Yeah.
block off all the dates that
Yes.
are important for you to be
Yes.
home and with your kids. And
Yes.
those dates are now unavailable. And that is
Mhm.
that. There is
Yeah,
no if and but how, however. It's just that's just how it is. And
that's
I
right.
think if you do that at the beginning of the year, this is the beginning, I don't know when this will run, but if we're at the beginning of the school year, that's the time. Get all those dates down in your calendar, what's important to you, and
Mhm.
then the business revolves around it.
That's
Well,
right. Because it just helps you be more focused when you have the free time.
yeah.
When you have the free time to do your life, and it makes you more appreciative as an entrepreneur too, to be able to have the freedom to do that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We've gone down now to working 3 days a week,
Oh,
and
good for
my
you.
husband does it too. He's quote unquote retired, but not really. And we've decided that retirement is only doing the work we love. And
Right.
so Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays for me, and typically Mondays or Fridays, we're maybe up north at the cottage or doing something else and or playing
That's
golf,
wonderful.
whatever. And I just am loving it. And I know lots of people probably think I'm like retired, but I'm not. Just picking and choosing to work with
Yeah.
the people who make me happy, and I will make them happy. We have
Yes.
the ability to develop, and I think that's really important. Penny, this went in a direction that I didn't expect, and I'm really excited. We're going to have to figure out a name for it because it's not what we first thought it was going to be. But I would love for your final thought to leave with our listeners to be, if you had your time back, let's say 20 years ago,
Okay.
what would you tell young Penny? What advice would you give young Penny 20 years earlier in her career?
Well, I think you already just stumbled on it when you talked about free days, because recently I've become a strategic coach student,
I
and
didn't know
blocking
that.
off,
Yay!
yeah,
That's
yeah, I
awesome.
just completed my first year. Blocking off that 150 free days a year as an entrepreneur basically means that you're taking all weekends, long weekends, and 7 full weeks off. Or the equivalent of those days, and just giving myself permission to do that, because if you are at the end of the year and you're looking back at how your year went, you're going to realize that you wasted a lot of time doing things that really didn't even pan out or didn't matter. And
Yeah.
so, if you think about how much more effective you can get if you could just focus on the things that really need your unique ability and your intense focus, and just give yourself the freedom to live out your free time so you can rejuvenate and your creativity can land. That's, I think, something I would have given myself permission to do 20 years ago. But I think one of the things that, is my unique ability is in relations and in relationships, it is as a connector of relationships and staying connected. And one of my superpowers, tools in my sandbox, is send out cards.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And so I was thinking about this podcast, and I know one of the topics, that we floated around was the power of connection. And
Yes.
to date, I have sent 11,933 cards.
Oh
And
my God.
and these are real greeting cards that get printed and stuffed in an envelope and stamped and put in the mail, and they arrive in people's mailboxes. And it's an old art, but there's a real high tech touch to it these days, because
Yeah.
it operates on my computer or a phone app. So
Yes.
what I've found over the years is that staying in touch with people and sharing gratitude and thanks, or even just like printing off the odd picture that I see on Facebook, because we are
Yeah.
not really printing photos anymore, and sending touch points in the mail
Yeah.
has really helped me stay top of mind. Because sometimes I'll go into my CRM to like add a new lead, and I realize, like, hey, wait a second, this isn't a new lead. I sent this person a card 2 years ago.
Oh,
Or,
love.
oh, like, oh, this person's come back to me four
Yeah.
times for business. And then I look and I go, oh yeah, and I sent them 6 cards over the last 3 years, just, Happy New Year or whatever. So staying in touch, I think my blog is called Leadership Tips. I was blogging before blogging was even a thing. It was just an email campaign send off, but that focus was always on education and just giving people tidbits of wisdom, like in a short read. And that has really helped me build my reputation in Ontario. And I
Mhm.
realize that now that I'm in Providence, Rhode Island half the time, and I'm starting over developing a business here, nobody knows me here. I'm
Yeah.
new. And I feel like I'm in kindergarten, like starting all over again. Like, hi, I'm Penny, and I help people play nice in the sandbox at work. So I'm realizing how it's taken me 20 years to become the I'll say, top of mind for so many people in Ontario
Yeah.
who want the service that I offer in workplace conflict resolution, or workplace development and team building and so on. But it does take a long time, and we have to nurture leads, and we have, like, it's not hunting, it's like gardening, right? We have to plant seeds and water them and prune the bushes and and appreciate and sharing gratitude. And we live in a really quite a negative world. So just sharing that positivity, not always asking for the sale, just staying in touch and building the relationships is really what I strive to do. And I think that, it has really paid off and it will continue to pay off.
For sure, for sure. Send me your affiliate link for send out cards and we'll put it in the show notes so that
Okay,
people can
sure.
get it. And if people would like to connect with you, what's your favorite social for doing that? Or do you want them to go check out your newsletter, or how would you like them to do that?
Well, I guess it depends on what for. So I have a discovery call link on my website.
Mm-hmm.
I invite people who are curious about how I can help serve their audience or their organization to go and book a discovery call. If they want to just follow me, LinkedIn is probably my most polished channel.
Okay.
And yeah, I am on Facebook and Instagram, but my audience lives on LinkedIn. So
Okay.
they can subscribe to my LinkedIn newsletter there and follow me around on the different places that I go.
Beautiful. Penny Tremblay, Tremblay. Thank you so much for your time today. I have loved catching up with you. I loved how we took a little detour into places that were unexpected. And thanks for being so real, Penny. It's great to follow your story, and congratulations on all of your success.
Thank you. And thank you for doing all that you do for speakers. I have an earworm of Jane Atkinson, which keeps me going. Back when you said, how did you get out of bed and get through the tough times? And the earworm sounds like this. Pick up the phone, pick up the phone, pick up the phone.
That was at our events. We used to talk about making phone calls, and
I
I
know.
think it's totally still valid. If you
I
want more
really do.
business, pick up the phone.
Pick up the
I love it.
phone.
You're
Yeah.
welcome for that
Oh,
little
well, thank you very much. There's
detour.
so many wise tips that you've helped me with along the way. I have two
Beautiful.
books now and two books out and yeah, I mean, I remember you helping me shape my brand. I remember you saying, save this much money. I don't know, like to me, the number was 60,000 bananas or something, but it was just my own number. But like save enough money to carry you through for a little while so that if something happened that you didn't get any work, you don't feel that sense of desperation.
Sure.
That was really valuable. So many valuable things, Jane, that you've guided us with along the way. And I listen to your podcast often too.
Yay. Full circle moment. I love it.
Yay.
So much, Penny, for being here. If you're listening, let us know. Give us some feedback. Jane@speakerlauncher.com. I'd love to hear from you. And with that, we're going to say, see you soon, wealthy speakers. Bye for now, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the Wealthy Speaker Podcast. If you need help scaling your speaking business, head over to speakerlauncher.com and chat with us.